Excuse my language, but I just stepped out on this little ledge and saw this and said, F it. Look at this. God. Then there's the lower Smokies. Let's go to the dome. The dome, 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 the dome. The tower on the dome. Where we left off in episode 2, we were headed towards Rocky Top. With Tool Time, always leapfrogging. We would meet him at Spence Shelter for lunch today. Prettiest switchback I ever did see. Rocky Top. It's Rocky.
Yes.
And Tool Time was here.
Hey.
Hey. It's always so nice to hear his voice and see him. But we, that down there, let me zoom in. Down there is Fontana Lake. We climbed up from there yesterday. And boy, was that a climb. But how pretty. Not gonna do it. Not gonna sing the song everybody sings. Not gonna do it. Not gonna Rocky Top. You'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. But it wasn't all downhill from there. Much of it was what you see here, steeper than it looks, rock face. Really putting those trekking poles to good use, as Scott captured me doing here. We just fucking mountain goated it up this really steep, just about straight up, big rocky rooty climb. But we got this little view between the rhododendron and trees. Isn't that pretty? And now we need to keep going. Okay. Hi, Buck. You gonna cross?
Just wait.
Hi. Look at that. He's pretty. Hi, go ahead. Wow. How pretty is he? There he goes. Wow, that was nice. Got it on video. Alright, so I never took any video last night, but this is Dereck Knob Shelter. It was a long, hard 12-mile day, probably the longest Scott and I have ever done. Everybody's saying that today is about the same kind of hard terrain that we had yesterday on the 12-mile day. So we know we don't have, it sounds like it's basically a mirror image. So we don't have that in us. So we're going to do an 8-mile day. to, what's that shelter? Double Springs Gap? And then we'll only have a couple miles into Clingmans Dome, and we're just going to try to hitch from there. Which, when we get shuttled back after a night in Gatlinburg, should put us on track for Tri-Corner Knob Shelter, which puts us on track for doing a 17-mile day downhill to avoid the closure at Cosby Knob to get to Davenport Gap Shelter. So that's our next few days.
Eat our Wheaties for that 7
Yeah. Now we're just about to have some oatmeal with Tool Time. Tool Time! We're gonna miss you, Tool Time, when we're not hanging with you anymore. So pretty. Out of here, you moths!
Yeah.
Do you see all these moths? Look at all these moths.
They're everywhere. Oh man, there's a bunch of trash in there. Look at the damn trash in there. This is a shitty one here because look at these dumbass
they're all
people putting
over.
fruit snack things in there. What the fuck?
People are idiots. Hi, pretty. Hi. Hello. I'm not gonna hurt you. Oh, I know. You're scared anyway. You don't know. What's been cool about this part is we've been walking kind of a ridge with views through the trees, which you can't see through my phone, on both sides. Except there's this giant mound of fern and blackberry bush over here now, but hold on.
Smell the copper.
She said it's hard for me to see how one little boy could be so ugly. And I said, darling, that might be, but there ain't nobody who can sing like me. Ain't nobody who can sing like me. Look at that. Way over yonder in the minor key. Way over yonder in the minor key. There ain't nobody who can sing like me. Again, with these cool views through the trees. Oh, so beautiful. All right, we ran into this guy, Chuck, trail name Beans, and he is also wearing a sports kilt brand kilt on his hike. Where did you start, Beans?
Cosby Campground.
Okay.
I'm going to Elkmont.
Okay, gotcha, cool. That's good, it's a good section.
Well, you started way
I started down at the bottom of North Carolina. We're trying to make it to Hot Springs. Almost 200 miles, yep.
But we're
Yeah,
loving
he's-
this. I'm loving this. It's
Yeah.
nice and cool. And when it's
He keeps
raining,
hiking
I
in
have
it.
like an umbrella.
I do too.
And this, I
Yeah,
sprayed
look
it
at you
with
guys.
Scotch Guard.
Oh,
I
this is
sprayed it with
awesome.
Scotch Guard, so it kind of, and it only got damp. And it was like, I mean, like a downpour. It was like she got drenched.
Uh-huh, and his dried off quick.
Wishing she had a
Where are y'all from?
We're from Hampton Roads, Virginia.
Beans was from Ohio.
We're just coming up our last climb of this day, and ta-da! See all these spruce, which I love. I have a feeling we're about to see a bunch more moss-covered spruce. Oh. Okay. Look at this. Oh, yes. Oh, man. I know.
And so we're a family now because we started what 10 days ago or how long?
Yeah,
has it been?
especially he and I met up before I picked up him to hop on with me. And so when you meet other hikers that you're kind of leapfrogging with, meaning when they take breaks, you catch up and hang out. Then you head on, and when you're taking a break, they catch up
just
with
hike
you,
around them
and then
or
you
they
just end up staying at some of the
together.
same pace, basically.
Yeah.
So you'll just kind of keep.
So then we missed each other
Then
for
you
about 4
meet
days
up
maybe.
again and again,
and
yeah.
then we saw you. Then I saw both
Yeah.
of you.
And then you start
Yeah.
saving room for each other in the shelters,
Yeah.
and then bringing each other the filter you left at the last shelter,
yeah.
which is what happened to us today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's called trail
they
magic.
didn't agree to be on
They did
camera.
not agree to
and
be
there's
on
a very
camera.
nice family, and it took
We
like
had to fuzz out
2 hours to build this fire, but now we have a fire. And this is Double Springs Gap Shelter.
Yes.
So
And she did say 2 hours.
it was a less than 8 mile day after a long 12-miler yesterday. Going into Gatlinburg tomorrow. Try to get some accommodations and a nice meal for our 10th anniversary. And then we'll hop back on the trail.
One last photo with tool time before we parted ways from Double Springs Gap Shelter. He was truly missed. I miss him still. But I had the wandering Scott, and he is an excellent hiking buddy indeed. And oh, how we loved that deep, dark, mossy forest.
Beautiful. Almost there. Almost to the highest point on the whole Appalachian Trail. Excuse my language, but I just stepped out on this little ledge and saw this and said, fucking shit! Look at this! God. Then there's the lower Smokies. I feel so high. We've never been this high before, babe. On the AT, doesn't it feel amazing? Let's go to the dome. The dome, 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 the dome. The tower on the dome.
Clingmans Dome.
We made it. Now we just gotta climb this little thing.
See where those fellas are.
Yeah.
Whatever we can call it.
Yeah.
No life will be up there.
Nice and gradual. We're here. We're at the highest Fontana Lake. Somewhere over there. Yep, Chihuahua Bald, yep. I think so. Let me check. Let me text those guys.
So there we were at the highest point on the entire Appalachian Trail, and all we needed was to find a ride into Gatlinburg for a cozy bed and a nice place to eat for our 10th anniversary.
Okay, we have found some very lovely people who are going to give us a ride to Gatlinburg. We have got Kristen over here on the right, Gordy, her husband, very friendly people. And this over here is the mom of a thru hiker named Zipper. And they've got a nice big Chevy, so we don't have to stink them out. We can get in the back.
Yeah, well, we gotta get
Let us
to
help.
the back,
Do you need us to help you clear stuff?
I'm just going to put it
Okay.
here and he's going to put it wherever he's putting it.
All right. But these are very lovely people. They recently got married in a tree house in February.
Hey, we're gonna be in the back seat.
Oh, we're going to be in the back seat?
I sound telling you.
Oh, okay.
We're just gonna
Oh,
we just
okay.
won't have our back.
This is really pretty.
Yeah, it's quite the view here.
It's
Yeah, let us know if you want to stop too.
fun. We're fine. It's pretty just to capture it like this.
Yeah, capture will drive.
I think we've been hiking up and down some of that.
Yeah, we
there.
have. Yeah. Back there.
Yeah.
Of course, these.
What a beautiful drive. So Gatlinburg is crazy. This is apparently a mini golf place. Circus mini golf. 3D black light. We are in a very nice restaurant called the Cherokee Grill in Gatlinburg. It's our 10th anniversary on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah. As you can see, the Appalachian Trail is developed.
It suddenly developed, yeah. Now we hitched a ride, and it's crazy. This place is crazy. There's this Ober Gatlinburg, which takes you over Gatlinburg in this really cool lift. I keep seeing people going up, kind of like the thing at Busch Gardens, you know, that takes you over the whole park. Takes you up the mountain.
Hikers. And also, being all by ourselves.
After dinner, we pretty much hid out in our $250 hotel room, which was the cheapest in Gatlinburg, and sorted our resupply for the stretch from here to Standing Bear. I don't recommend going into Gatlinburg because it is so expensive and crowded with people, but we just really wanted to have a nice dinner for our anniversary. Luckily, Stripper here, that's her trail name, gave us a nice cheap ride back to the trail the next day, and you'll see her a lot more in the next episode because she helps us multiple times.
Trees are bigger.
Just look at this. Scott says that although the trees in the Pacific Northwest are bigger. Was that a rattlesnake?
No.
I heard a rattle. He said, well, the trees in the Pacific Northwest are bigger. It definitely looks a lot like this. It's just magical to me. Yeah, we heard like a rattle. It sounded like a rattlesnake to me. I think it was a type of insect? Interesting, interesting. But just look how beautiful. Oh, I love this. This part, the last couple of days have really been beautiful up here. We've seen so much wildlife and so many beautiful, just way up high here in the Smokies. Things are just different, you know? And it's a lot like Mount Rogers. So if you've loved the Smokies for this kind of stuff right here, and you're through hiking or lashing all the way up to the Grayson Highlands, then take the half-mile side trip once you get your camp set up by Thomas Knob Shelter up in the Graysons, and do the little hike out to Mount Rogers so you can get a little bit more of this, because it's exactly like this. It's gorgeous and enchanting. Okay. It's so cool. We keep seeing these big trees growing right up and almost out of a rock.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just wanted to let the world know that I just had the best pee in the woods in my life. Right behind that tree. It was quite a beautiful urination station.
You just fertilized that tree. You added to
Leaning up on that mossy tree. Ooh, it was nice. This thing right here is apparently to keep the wild hogs from spreading further out of the Smokies. Like that wild hog we saw in the shelter the other night, which I did not get on video.
Look at that beach forest exposure.
Yeah. Fencing against the wild hog, a non-native animal that has been present in the park only since the 50s. And we saw one. We turned on our head. I heard it first. I woke up and I heard it and woke Scott up. He turned on his headlamp and I thought it was a black bear at first, but it was a big, dark-colored wild hog rooting around right outside the shelter. Well, we can tell we've made it to Newfound Gap because of the sound of traffic and this pretty big stone wall. So I can't wait to eat some lunch there. The water source I was hoping to get water from just a minute ago was unreliable, so I just am kind of holding out hope someone up here will give us a soda. Ooh, what beggars we become out here. Newfound Gap. Beautiful views.
Oh, let me sit up straight.
Lots of people. We're sitting here on this little stone wall, having our lunch. Smoked tuna with cheese and Chick-fil-A mayonnaise. And with this lovely view. So nice. Came from over there. Headed over here. So. Alright, that was a delicious lunch. Now we have 2.5 miles of uphill and then a little down to the next shelter.
When we got to Icewater Springs shelter, Treeline and her dad, Grits, were there. He had taken her on a through hike quite a few years ago, and she had become a ridge runner and was now working in the Smokies, in charge of all the shelters in the Smokies. They were such awesome people.
Yeah.
They were pretty smelling.
Yeah. Oh, I can smell bug spray and sunscreen before people get to me. I'm like, I know I'm close to a parking lot.
Me too. The day hikers today were smelling like laundry detergent. I was like, that's nice. I washed my panties in a sink last night with Dr. Bronner's.
And then along came Renee, trail name Lucky. At least that's what I named her. She had a very sunny disposition, if you can't tell from her hat. And we just had a great night chatting with her, Grits, and Treeline, and No One, which was the trail name of the fella you heard speaking just a little while ago. He'd be our hiking buddy for the next few days as we head out of the Smokies. We'll pick up at sunrise here at Icewater Springs Shelter, so stay tuned for part 4 of this 4-part documentary. And as always, thank you for watching. And if you're feeling supportive, please do like and subscribe to this channel.